Something has to change. So how do I sit down with this blank piece of paper and go, all right, today I'm going to do something innovative, or I'm going to innovate? How do I start it?
That's a great question. So, healthcare traditionally is a very risk averse industry, particularly as it comes to doing things differently, right? Even though organizations today still say they're incredibly innovative, they're very open minded, they want to do things differently. We see as we kind of bump up against those guardrails where organizations actually start to get nervous, right? Let's talk about staffing in that kind of a world.
Yeah, and what a low touch technology. So you get a notification. A lot of people say, what if AI is wrong? What if AI hallucinates? But in that little situation you just described, worst case scenario, you check on a patient that didn't need to be checked on because it notified you that maybe they broke the plane and they didn't. That seems like a really like low hanging fruit solution of technology or innovation.
Absolutely. I mean, based on what I'm seeing and the people that are reaching out to us to develop virtual nursing programs for their inpatient care units, I absolutely believe that this is going to become the standard of care in less than 5 years. I mean, we
Mm.
know right now that 66% of acute care hospitals are actually evaluating virtual nursing. Either is this going to be helpful to us, evaluating technology, beginning to assemble their own care delivery model. So I can't see a future that virtual nursing for inpatients isn't part of that.
Yeah.
Hey, Devin, I keep hearing about competency-based education from nurses online. What is that? Can you break that down for me?
Oh, yeah, sure thing. Do you know anything about cooking?
Yeah, I'm actually sous videing a couple steaks for tonight right now.
Oh, okay. Well, then, so in cooking, chefs follow recipes but often adjust ingredients and cooking times based on taste and experience. So in competency based education, it's similar. It's about understanding the core objectives or the recipe and adjusting teaching methods, ingredients, and times based on student progress and feedback. So, do you see that as reinforcement learning or replacement learning? Do it in
Um,
VR instead or do it in VR in addition?
I think it's both. I think it depends on the content and the context, precept and mentor, and not expect to be compensated. Well, they should precept and mentor. However, it is additional responsibility. It does make their day more complicated. In some cases, it's just plain downright burdensome to have students tagging along and trying to teach them while you want to zip around and give care. So I think we have to balance what it is we're asking of people with how we're recognizing the value of that contribution.
Well, I don't know if you know Susie Cardon Egren or Lisa Marie Wands. We did a whole episode on this, and a good nurse does not necessarily make a good teacher either. So
That's
to
right.
not compensate someone for their contribution, I think presumes that you're also not now as responsible for the workload required to help a student get over the knowledge hill.
New approaches or innovative ways to do things.
Go ahead, Connor.
So in your book, you mentioned leadership in crisis. What are some key qualities that nurse leaders must possess or develop to effectively guide their teams through crises?
You have to be able to listen and willing to hear the good and the bad. There's an awful lot that comes from a human centered approach of listening to not only those that are doing the work, um, but also to patients. And in a lean methodology world, we would say go to Gemba, right? Go to where the work is being done, ask questions and learn and observe. So I think that that's probably something that can't be overstated because oftentimes the people doing the work understand the real problem and also have some solutions that may be helpful as well.